right? We're here to figure out our way, our purpose, live out our dreams, our vision, our ambitions, our desires, because if they're in us, they're for us. And I do believe that God does not make mistakes. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about this book, Chillpreneur, New Rules for Creating Success, Freedom, and Abundance on Your Terms. This is by Denise Duffield Thomas. It's a great book. I read it, when did I read this? A couple weeks ago on my flight over to Napa, Sonoma area for my celebration of my 43rd birthday. And it really allowed me to even take what I have my intentions of this year being is refining, simplifying while receiving even more. And that's what I want to share today. There are a ton of amazing concepts and quotes in this book. Highly, highly recommend. It's a great read. And no, she's not asking me to endorse this. I'm just doing this because I intuitively feel like that if you really want to unlock next level success, you should always be, I guess you deserve to be, learning and growing and aligning to new actions, new methods, new concepts, and ideas that feel good to you that will help you get there faster. So we're going to talk just about 11 actionable quotes from Chillpreneur for both business and life, right? So this is maximizing your potential. This is really seeing all the possibility and potential that is available. And if you're not seeing that right now, most likely it's because of old limiting beliefs, old default modes that you have set yourself up for. And so we're taking this whole concept because there's wisdom from Arianna Huffington, where she even, I'm going to mention one of her quotes here, and Oprah, and just some amazing Confucius. Like there's some amazing stuff in here where you don't have to go figure it out all on your own, right? That's why many of the gurus have written books, because they're like, wow, it took me 5 years, 10 years, 20 years to get to where I am now. And you can accelerate it, right? By 2 to 3 years, right? By having that self-acceptance, that fearless persistence, that intentional focus to really get that return on investment, which is also return on intention, which is what I really, really love helping people do. So we're going to uncover these strategies today. We're going to maximize, again, your potential, the possibilities, embracing failure as a stepping stone to greatness. It's actually required, right? But it doesn't have to be like failure, like doom and gloom. It just has to be like, okay, trial and error. This worked, this didn't. And when you have KPIs, key performance indicators set up in both business and life that tell you if you're on track or not, right? Then we can pivot faster, right? So if any of this is aligning, or if you're like, wow, where do I even start? Once you hear all these amazing quotes, go grab the Power of the Reset prompts. Those prompts, you use them monthly, will assist you with asking better quality questions and creating the life you deserve, the life you desire, the life that's been waiting for you, especially if you've been settling or you've been giving away your power to other people or circumstances or situations, which we don't have to do that. I mean, if you love doing that and it's working for you, good for you. But many of us desire more, and we blame or shame ourselves or others for not having the more or experiencing it sooner than later. So quote number 1, these are in no specific order, by the way. I have bookmarked many, many pages in this book, but these are the 11 that I was just intuitively grabbed and was like, this is what I want to talk about on the podcast today. First one is, it's okay to quit. It's okay to quit. This goes in alignment with, it's okay to say no. Actually, it's required that you quit. It's required that you say no to the things that are no longer serving you or the greater mission. This is part of living life by design, making decisions from your vision, living from your vision. And you can't possibly do that if you're actually doing the same things you're doing right now. You're going to keep getting, receiving, experiencing what you are right now if you keep doing what you're doing. Once we start noticing what we're noticing, and we're like, wow, I do this every day, or I do this once a month, or I do this every year, or I do this once a week, and it's not serving me and that higher vision, do we need to say no to it? Do we need to delegate it? Do we need to quit just doing it? And it's really bringing that awareness to play. This is why when I'm coaching my clients, We talk about awareness. We talked about activation. We talk about integration. And then we embody it, and it just becomes who we are and how we do life, which is awesome because it doesn't have to be so drawn out, daunting, hard. Now, it's simple. It's not always easy. But as you start to pivot and shift and use tools and frameworks to assist you with that, it really does get to be easier and fun, right? Who doesn't want that, right? So fearlessness, quote number 2 is fearless is not the absence of fear. It's about getting up one more time, then we fall down. That's the Arianna Huffington quote. Fearless is not the absence of fear. It's about getting up one more time, then we fall down. Now, again, fear is going to be there. There are going to be things in your life that you fear for the rest of your life. We think about celebrities. You can think about rock stars. Like most of them feared probably going out on that stage for the first time. And most of them still get the jitters, right? Or they're like, man, what if I forget my words? I was just listening to Goo Goo Dolls with my husband last night. We were playing cards with my mom. She's visiting. And I was like, oh my gosh, remember when we saw him in concert in Dallas and he forgot the words? He forgot the words, right? And it's not like he's a new band. Came out way back when I was a young pup, right? And it happens, those are the things people fear, but they do it anyways. They continue anyways. The show goes on. The music doesn't stop. That type of being fearless. Now, it doesn't mean that there's no fear. There's no absence of it. It's there, but we lock arms with it. We friend it. We recognize it. We honor it. And yet we don't allow it to take our power away. We don't say, I can't do this because of fear. We say, if anything, I'm doing this because of my fear of it. The things you fear most, failure, what if it gets bigger than I ever imagined and I don't know what to do with it? Those are the things we really do deserve to do and experience. Because once you know why, the how will figure itself out. But sometimes we fear how we're going to do it, or fear how much it's going to cost to invest into that thing, or to move forward in that job, or to take that interview, or to have that child, or to date that person, or to break up and date them again, or there's so many things. But if we can take this quote, fearless is not the absence of fear. It's about getting up one more time than we fall down. It's about taking that shot, even if we miss it, and taking the next one and taking the next one. All right. So that's number 2. Number 3, a queen is not afraid to fail. There's a little theme going on here. A queen is not afraid to fail. Failure is another stepping stone to greatness. This is Oprah, right? The queen of generosity in my books, right? I don't know about you, but she is the queen, or a queen for sure, of generosity. And she probably had many times, and she speaks openly about this, where, we could be afraid to fail, but that goes back to fear. It's always going to be there. The possibility of failure is there, just like the possibility of success is there. It's just, where are you investing with intention your time and energy and resources, and how quickly are you pivoting when things aren't heading in your direction, or aren't heading in the direction of the vision of what you are ultimately wanting to desire to experience. Because nobody really sets the goal to fail, but many of us aren't humble enough to know that it's required. Like, we are going to fall down. Look at babies when they're learning to walk, toddlers. They fall down, they get back up. They fall down, they get back up. They fall down, they get back up, until they're not falling down one day. And we cheer them on and we encourage them. And then we lose that for ourselves somewhere along the way. And it's like, why? Why? And I think about many times where I attempted something, or I got laid off from something, and it's like, do I own it as a failure, or do I own it as a lesson? Am I confident in who I am and what I stand for and what I bring to the table? Or do I give my power away to a title or a person's opinion? Let's go back to when I was even in pageantry. I was going through pageant series and circuits to earn that scholarship for a master's degree or a college tuition. And also to just really have a platform to share massive impact. At that time, it was childhood obesity. Yes, it's still a problem. It's still a pandemic. And so many times, more than I can count on one hand, possibly two, which is embarrassing enough to admit, receiving first runner up. And when I was a child, I was told first runner up was first loser. There's only one winner, and first runner up is the first loser. And that stuck with me. And I identified with that. And I was like, no, not anymore. Because at the end of the day, it's what you believe to be true. The thoughts that you repeat over and over become your beliefs. So we must be very intentional with what we believe to be true and what we believe to be our truth and to propel us forward, or we believe things that are limiting and holding us back. Fourth one is I intentionally abandon the hard stuff early on because not only do I think it's useless, I think it's a distraction. I intentionally abandon the hard stuff early on because not only do I think it's useless, I think it's a distraction. This is by Seth Godin. How does that land for you? Abandon the hard stuff early on. Because here's a quote that I've been sharing for a few years now. Do what's hard, life will be easy. Do what's easy, life will be hard. But if you are intentional with abandoning the hard stuff early on, and you actually focus on things that aren't a distraction, if you really think about it, a lot of the things that propel us forward is success that is something that is consistent to keeping the success we enjoy. And if we don't enjoy it, there's the hustle, there's the grind. And if we're applying hustle and grind to earn our success or experience whatever it is we're desiring to experience, the energy we put into that is going to be what's required to maintain and sustain. So that's where I aligned to this. And I was like, wow, what another way to put it. But at first I was like, abandon the hard stuff? No, we must do the hard stuff. But do we? Do we? And how does that land for you? Like, what hard things are you allowing to distract you or delay you from living out your goals, your dreams, your vision? Question to think about. Actually, you're going to have a lot of questions from this episode, I can tell, to really ponder on, journal about, see what pops up for you. What do we need to honor and release? What do we deserve to step into? And with courage, take some aligned action, apply some confidence, and allow ourselves to grow and expand. Number 5, if you don't know thyself, you can't live a life of your dreams. If you don't know thyself, you cannot live the life of your dreams. And this is Arianna Van Zandt. I always butcher her name, and I'm so sorry if you ever listen to my podcast. That is not my intention. But I have a lot of her quotes floating around. And it's true, you have to know thyself. Who are you at the core? Besides being a daughter, a friend, a spouse, a mom, a sister, a brother, a cousin, a neighbor, a volunteer, the title that you have at your career right now, who are you? Are you clear on who you are, what you stand for, what you don't, what your values are, so that you can live by them, decide from them? Decision mastery starts there. If you get anything out of this conversation today, know thyself. Make decisions from your truest self, your highest self, and say yes only to those things that serve that version of you. Release everything else. Say no to everything else. Life will get to be so much more fun. And when you know thyself, you show up in your best state, meaning you're doing your best, you're being your best. When you are so true to yourself and you understand who you are at the core, you don't take anything personally because nobody can shake you. because you know yourself so well. You're confident in the loving, caring, supporting, successful, courageous, adventurous, talented person that you are. Know thyself. And then we don't assume any less than from anybody else. We almost expect it. When we show up in our highest self and we know thyself so well, and we expect others to do the same, wow, what a game changer in this world. What a game changer. And this goes back to knowing yourself. Like, what do you desire? What do you want to experience at the core? Not just what do you want today or tomorrow or this year. Like, what do you really want to experience over the next 3 to 5 years, over the next 10 years, in this lifetime? And then reverse engineer it. What does that look like? What does that feel like? If it would just wave a magic wand, and what if it all just turned out better than it could ever imagine? What would it look like? What would it feel like? What would it taste like? What would it smell like? Who would be there? What's it feel like? And owning that and starting your day in that feeling. You're like, wow, I have no idea, but I love to experience this. Jump on one of my free Activate and Create calls. I give away 5 every month. Over a $500 value. I give away 5 every month. And I've been doing this for a while because I knew the highest version of me and my vision does that. I was like, well, once I make X amount per month, once I have extra time freedom, no, I create it now. I do it now. This is why I took Fridays off last year. I was like, oh, once, in a couple of years, I'll take Fridays off. No. Living, deciding from the person in my vision now is already taking Fridays off. So take the dang Friday off. That doesn't mean I don't work on Fridays. Some days I wake up and I'm like, I'm so motivated, inspired, and driven to create something for you guys. And some days I don't. I go have lunch. I meet with soul sisters and brothers and network, and or take care of myself, or go out in the garden and take a walk with the dog, or hike in the woods and just ground. But it's my Flex Friday. I can do whatever I want. Or my Freedom Friday. A lot of my clients call it their Freedom Friday, and their time freedom, their money freedom, and they do whatever they want, however they want, whenever they want, the whole freaking day. So fun, so juicy. All right, so let's know thyself. If you need help with that, like I said, message me. Activate and Create calls are happening all the time. Sometimes I have 2 or 3 a month that nobody uses. Other times I have the whole month booked up before the month starts. So it's your call. Are you ready to step into your courage? Claim and own that confidence, and know thyself. 6 is self-acceptance is way more profitable than self-help. Self-acceptance is way more profitable than self-help. This is by the one and only Denise Duffield Thomas. This is a quote by her in her own book. Chillpreneur, which is what we're reviewing, is the 11 actionable quotes I just pulled out to share with you today on this episode. And when you let that land, do you accept your strengths? Do you accept your weaknesses? Because what happens is self-help is like we're always trying to fix something. Ugh. Now, here's the good news. It's true, the work is never done. So, why try to get it done? You can't just check the box and be done. Limiting beliefs, thoughts, trauma, experiences will continue to, show themselves every once in a while. We don't know when that timing will be. But when we self-accept, we don't allow it to stop us any longer. We don't allow it to take us down. We can feel it, the grief, the loss, I wish I was better at this, or I wish I looked different. We can feel what it feels like. But we fully love because we know thyself. This is why I picked these 2 quotes so close to each other. Because when you truly accept who you are, and you get curious about what is possible for who you are and your greatest potential, oof, it gets fun. It gets super fun. And that's what fulfillment comes from. When we're living life every day, whether we're doing the same thing every day for years, or whether we shake it up, and some weeks they're one way and other weeks they're another, and we're living different years, which is the beauty of life. We get to choose to live as creative and expansive and diverse as we decide, or as comfortable and repetitive, because we know that the brain likes the familiar, right? So where are you with your level of self-acceptance of your strengths, of your weaknesses? Do you really have fun with relating to that? Or are you really trying to fix things and, read the next self-help that is going to unlock it all for you? Because I can tell you from experience and working with my clients, especially, there isn't one manual for all of this. There are lots of universal laws that govern us. There are lots of codes out there that we can live by, but they only work if we work them. It's like manifestation. Like, we manifest our life every day. What we experience, we're manifesting. What we believe to be true, we're manifesting. What we don't believe to be true, we're manifesting. Just like if you believe that you can, you're right. If you believe that you can't, you're right. So if the manifestation is a constant, are we being intentional with what we're desiring to create, to experience? That's manifestation. Well, if there are things that in our life that we've just accepted, are we okay with that? Or are there things that we want to work on, that we want to overcome? Great. But what I can tell you is that just like the universal laws, we can't see them, but they exist, like gravity. We can't see gravity, but it existed before Newton discovered it, right? Are we looking at those things to work with them versus against them? This is self-acceptance, working with yourself and honoring and loving yourself just as you are today. No matter how much advancement or how much expansion you've had or you haven't, or how many setbacks, because there's going to be times where you've hit levels of success and you're like, bam, I took 10 steps forward and boom, I took 15 steps back. Or whoa, I did 20 steps forward and boom, I took 2 steps back, right? But are you loving and accepting every level with gratitude, with grace, the successes, the lessons, AKA failures, which you already talked about, which are required? Think about that. Journal about that. See what pops up for you. Number 7, wherever you go, there you are. Confucius. Wherever you go, there you are. Wherever you go, there you are. This goes back to knowing thyself. This is going back to self-acceptance. This is going back to, hello, are you showing up fully in all possibility, where potential is there, possibilities are there, and showing up and embracing them, taking advantage of them, experiencing them, having those bold conversations, making those bold commitments and moves and decisions. You probably saw this yesterday. I made a quote that talked about deciding is about commitment to action and less of a feeling when you think you're ready. Everybody talks about, I feel ready. I don't feel ready. I feel ready. I don't feel ready. Okay. So are you committing to being ready? And the only way to do that is to actually take action? Or are you just committing to the decision of, I'm getting ready to get ready to get ready to get ready, which is a huge delay for your dreams, your desires, and your goals. So wherever you go, there you are. Are you fully present? Are you feeling the fulfillment, the enjoyment, which leads to everlasting happiness, which leads to everlasting gratitude, even when things get hard, even when things are frustrating, or even when things feel doom and gloom, because there's going to be darkness, just like there's light. But wherever you go, there you are, fully present. That's what pivoted me out of corporate, by the way. I was like, why am I living according to other people's expectations? It's time for me to live according to my own, my fulfillment, my desires, my dreams. And then boom, have some babies. Holy moly, my world was rocked. I had no idea I would love being a mother as much as I did. And I wanted to be fully engaged in their life because I could not buy back that time. Yes, I wanted help, but I wanted to be able to be flexible enough to be there throughout the day, to take some phone calls, to go back and nurse, to take some more phone calls, to go play tummy time, and to have help, while the baby's sleeping, some eyeballs on the baby, and, maybe feed the baby. Now she's a toddler. And my definition of what I really wanted that to be shifted, pivoted, reset, changed multiple times over just the past 9 years of me being a mom. but I know wherever I go, I'm there. And sometimes I'm not perfect, right? I'm already thinking about the next thing and enjoying the one thing, or I'm not enjoying the one thing. That's not what I wanted to do. And I said yes anyways. Old behaviors of a chronic people pleaser, right? Let's move on to number 8. Success doesn't come to you. You go to it. We don't get success. We experience it. We become the person that's a match for it. Success doesn't come to you. You go to it. Marva Collins. We meet it. We don't go get it. We can't just sit here and be like, I wish, I hope, I pray, I expect success. So therefore, I'm going to create law of attraction and it will happen. If only it was that easy. But if it was that easy, would it even be fun? Would it even be worth it? Right? Especially as a high performer, as a recovering high performer, as a recovering people pleaser. And I love helping those people because it's like, yes, you can have more without it sacrificing more time, more money, more resources. Or maybe it will require that. And that's the route you want to go to. Great. Neither is right. Neither is wrong. But what feels good to you? So we have to do what? This goes back to decision mastery. This goes back to discipline. We decide. Decide, commit with the action. Because we can decide all day, but until we take that action, we're committed to showing up, nothing happens. So when we decide and we commit, we take that action. This becomes consistent in our routine of who we are and how we be. This is discipline, and discipline equals freedom. Oof. One of my favorite words. Freedom, freedom, time freedom, money freedom. This is breakthroughs. This is return on intention, being intentional with your awareness, with your activation, with your integration, with your embodiment of who you are and how you're showing up and how you're making decisions from a vision, living life from a vision. Number 9, you actually have to work less to earn more. Boom! When I read this, I was like, yes. And this is going to rub most of you in a very weird, uncomfortable, maybe triggering way. Denise Duffield Thomas said, you actually have to work less to earn more. More time freedom, more money freedom required by you doing less. This is how even like the most simplest form of look at corporate America. There are people that go, 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 move up the ladder, burn out, go, go, go. And eventually there are people that are doing less in pockets because they figured it out. And there are others that are busting their butt and they're wondering why they can't have more. They've maxed out based on their beliefs, which are limited, that there isn't any more money to be made, that there isn't any more time to invest into the day. You got to re-strategize. You got to let go of the old ways of doing things and operate at a whole new level. To me, this means delegating to experience next level success. To me, this also goes hand in hand with a quote by Zig Ziglar. You can have everything in life you want if you will just help other people get what they want. This is why I even started my own coaching practice, because there are so many people that desire freedom in time, freedom with money, freedom from their limiting beliefs, freedom and fulfillment in everyday life, either because they've burnt out before, or they've seen other people in their industry burn out, or they've seen parents burn out, or they were raised and they were told money doesn't grow on trees, or that you have to hustle and grind, and then one day you'll get to enjoy life, or that you have to have so much in savings, or that you have to do it this way, or you have to do it that way, or you must become this type of professional. Ugh. Says who? So if you help more people get what they want, you can have everything in life you want. What a great rule, right? Or law. It just, to me, it just goes to show like life isn't meant to be done alone either. Right? So that's number 9. Number 10 is actually going even deeper on this quote. You can have everything in life if you would just help other people get what they want. This quote wasn't actually in her book, but it really struck me when I said, how do we work less to earn more? How is that even possible? If you would have told me that in my 20s, I'd been like, but who cares? I love work. I'll do this till the day I die. I'll figure it out. I have so much time, so much energy, and I was a make it happen person, right? People hired me because I would come into the organizations and I would share the mission, live the mission, create and share and embody the values and help others do the same. Why? Because I was doing just that. It was fueling me and feeding me in so many ways, spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally, physically, on getting what I wanted because I was helping so many other people get what they want, which was what? The whole concept of becoming and living out their biggest dreams, their biggest goals, and their biggest desires. And that's what I still get to do today. I don't take it for granted. I get to do this, but it's because I'm committed. There are many times I wanted to quit, right? There's still many times I want to quit, but there's a bigger mission that I'm on. There's a bigger reason behind the legacy and the stories way beyond. Like, I was just talking with a brand expert on Friday, and I was telling her that I really wish I was just like the secret back pocket coach for celebrities and millionaires and billionaires, because so many of them, and I think of Robin Williams and his life ending way too short. And I'm like, what was it in him that was feeling unfulfilled that he had to go to that extent? I'm like, I don't want anyone to feel that way. And we know those with the most money tend to have more to give, right? And it's like, how many people get to that point and it's like, it doesn't matter the amount of money. It doesn't matter the things that they buy. It's eventually they get to a point where like the fulfillment is still not there. And you can have almost everything in the world and the fulfillment is not there. When it's like, well, you feel the fulfillment and then you do the thing. You feel the joy and then you do the thing. You feel the happiness. If you look at the definition, as a result of doing something. I did something and I feel happy because of it. But you felt happy because you enjoyed it. So it's feeling the feeling and then doing the thing, not waiting to the thing to happen. And then we get the feeling and then all of a sudden the thing's over and the feeling's gone. That is a not so expansive or productive cycle, but it's very habitual and so many people live by that. Number 11, let's wrap this baby up with a beautiful bow. Be a contributor, not a guru. This is also from Denise Duffield Thomas. Be a contributor, not a guru. This was huge, huge, huge in my reading on the plane just a few weeks ago, because I got caught up in, I have to know this much more about NLP. I have to know this much more about business and life in order to take my guru-ness to the next level. It's like, no, everything I have up until now is so much more beyond enough to contribute now, to collaborate now, to impact now, to help others break through and expand now. So yes, you won't catch me becoming the guru of anything specifically, especially as a manifesting generator over here, but you will massively see me contributing and collaborating a whole lot more. Thanks to this reminder, Denise. And business will be fun because this is lasts for a reason. As a high performer, think about yourself as a business owner or climbing that corporate ladder. We tend to want to learn more, do more, receive more out of life, out of our profession. And the best way to do that is to contribute. Give and then receive. Give what you want to receive and take the pressure off being the guru. This is another episode I did earlier this month about when you're trying to be your best, it's blocking you from even being better at times, because we're trying so hard to beat the best when better is always enough. So be a contributor, ask better questions, have the courage to go deeper. This is the how you will help yourself experience more, gain more time back in the future. We can buy time into the future by having other people do things that free up our time, but we cannot buy back time in our past. And look at where you would be investing more time, more energy, more resources. What would that look like? What would that feel like? If you were the contributor that people went to versus the guru, boy, the pressure is released. Think about the pressure we put on ourselves weekly, daily. Over here, I'm really good at it. My husband calls me out, thankfully, in a loving way. So it's like, why? We're not meant to get it all done. It can't be all done, especially when you have massive, massive dreams, desires, and goals. It's not going to be all done in a day, but take that consistent action, commit, decide, decision mastery, return on investment, return on intention, radical breakthroughs, resetting with purpose. All of it pulls together. But we must first what? Have the courage to get clear. All goes back to the vision. It all goes back to the vision. And most people won't take time. Won't take time to do this. I recently am going to end it on this. Stop meditating in the morning, which was like, what? I was doing a little test this past few weeks. And I do my meditation at night. I journal in the morning still. And I realized that when I feel intuitively called to meditate, I will in the morning. But most of the time, I'm more of an active meditator, like when I'm walking and ideas are coming to mind, or I'm really present with nature, or things like that. But I took the pressure off, like having to sit in meditation first thing in the morning. And instead, I intentionally journal. So again, I'm sharing this with you because just because the gurus say you have to do it this way, or it worked for them because they did it that way, doesn't mean that's what will feel aligned and work for you. It doesn't mean that's what's going to unlock what's next for you. So out of all the methods and the frameworks and the codes that are out there, what is in alignment with you? And maybe it's a combination of what other people do, or maybe it's a different version or variation of what other people have done. Someone shared it and it inspired curiosity, and it inspired creativity to come up with what feels best for you. And that's what I get to do for myself. And that's what I get to do with my clients. And it's so, it's so rewarding because there's no pressure there. There's no pressure. Even in my non-negotiables, there's no pressure. And yes, pressure is required to create a diamond. I know many of my clients are like, but diamonds and the pressure of the diamond. Yes, but that's over diamonds. We're not just mass of coal, carbon, whatever diamonds are made of, right? Which I love them. But let's go back to what we are, what we stand for, to know thyself, to really step in the space of discomfort because it's uncomfortable to shift and change. Our brain is going to want to keep you where it's safe. And when you're used to the pressure and you love the pressure and that's what got you the success, it can become addicting. And it doesn't have to be that way. We can contribute in so many other ways and take the pressure off and still receive more, massively more. But if you don't believe it at first, check your thoughts. Look at your thought patterns. Are they limiting you from that? Or are they allowing you? Limiting or allowing? Awareness, intention. Pivoting, noticing what we're noticing. And then just enjoying the ride, right? Because all of this work can be very overwhelming. This is what I tell a lot of my clients when they first start working with me. Even if it's only for 3 months, even though 6 months is ideal, I'm like, you will want to quit multiple times. You will want to quit multiple times. Because when you're noticing what you're noticing and you're wanting to pivot and shift, break through, release, step into all of the things, it's exhausting because a lot of us have been firing and wiring for decades, the ways that we've been firing and wiring and operating. And now we're shifting your operating system. And it gets to be fun, but yet even when we're doing fun things, it's like, okay, can I just stop noticing what I'm noticing just for a day? Yes, permission to do that, right? There's ebbs and flows, there's ups and downs, there's highs and lows, there's There's struggle, there's simplicity, there's ease, there's hardships, right? But this is why it's great to have tools and frameworks to pull from that feel good, that you can try on and test out and create to be your own, and have that coach or that guide or that mentor to lean on when you want to quit, and discuss that and ask better questions and go deeper and be like, why did you even start in the first place? Let's go there before we throw in the towel, right? And maybe it's not quitting what you're doing, it's quitting the other things, releasing what's no longer serving you, setting new boundaries. Like I said at the start, the very first quote, it's okay to quit. It's okay to quit. And you actually have to, it's required to quit being, doing, showing up in the old version of you in order to embrace the next level. But that can also be a mind F, right? If we're not truly understanding how that goes. So I'm going to leave you with that. The 11 actionable quotes from Chillpreneur by Denise Duffield Thomas. And obviously you have a couple things that are going on right now here in May. You still have the Activate and Create calls that I'm offering. I believe there's 1 or 2 left, and we have 2 weeks left, this week and next. So grab one if that's feeling in alignment. It's like, okay, I want to do a vision casting, and I want to activate and create this vision and learn to live from it. I'm tired of the old and with the new. And then we also have the Power of the Reset journal prompts. Go grab them, try them on. I promise you, 60, 90 days, things will start to happen if you use them. If you feel into them. There's a really distinct how to use these prompts. If people are like, oh, 7 journal prompts, like what's that really going to do in my life? Massive, massive shifts and breakthroughs if you use them properly. Just like affirmations, they don't work unless you feel them. It's a visceral feeling when you're reading the words. If you can't feel them, ditch the affirmation or affirmations until you find or create those that you can feel, right? So I'm sending you off with so much love. Until next time, bye for now.